I've heard such kind of things happened with lots of people in 1993. To me, it came in 1996. It was late evening, almost night, and I was feeling restless. Then, suddenly, I've got an acute feeling. It was not a voice in my head, as they usually describe it when talking about mental abnormalities. It was a kind of inner urge. Take a pencil and a piece of paper. I was sitting in the kitchen, the night light was on. I was holding a pencil, and then suddenly I had a feeling as if my arms and legs were becoming longer and longer, for about 10 meters, and I began to feel transformed into a different size. I changed. I was different. And my hand with the pencil, it started to write over there, far away from me, in another room. What and how I was writing I cannot describe, because I was in an altered state of consciousness, as if I wasn't there. I didn't look at these pages, I didn't see how it was happening. When it was over, I saw the result in the paper. First came a picture, then several lines and some drawings. My first feeling was that of fear. I wasn't thinking whether it was good or evil, I was just scared. To tell more, I was scared to death. I had to wait till morning because I couldn't do anything at night. To call or to go to anyone, I didn't know what the reaction of people might be, but in the morning I called one of my acquaintances. He is a healer. Since he was 14 years old, he lived with a hermit. So I called him and asked what had happened to me and what to do and how to live with it, because I was scared. He said, "First of all, stop being afraid. If you keep feeling scared, they will take you." Naturally, I got even more scared after these words. Then he said, "Take the letter and come to us." So I did it. There are two of them, he and she, the couple. She's also related to these books, this knowledge, a lot more than any other people around me. They were the only people then I could go to with such a question. The woman takes a big black book. I still don't know what this book was. To me it was just something big and black then. So she takes this book and asks the date of my birthday and the date of the moment I turned to them for help, calculates something, looks through the book and says, "Oh, that's what I thought." Then she takes my notebook where I've written the first letters and begin to write down the interpretation of the situation. And then I read what she had written, but understood nothing. And it's written here that the way in which you get knowledge is the way in which your values are ruined. About humans' liberty, the notion of the cosmic mind, spirit and environment, mind and intuition, mental clairvoyance, and etc. For me, all these words sounded beautiful but meant nothing. But fear was gone. Still, I had lots of doubts. With time, those doubts were dispelled by the letters that followed. For instance, once I got a letter, "The blue comet is rushing along." And I read letters after I'd written them. First I wrote, and then I read the content. You can see by the handwriting that while I was writing the information down, I couldn't control my hand. First I was trying to write down what I'd been told, then I was trying to read it. So, the blue comet is rushing along. You can help. Your dream will give you the clue. Which comet? What's it all about? The next day, I got to know that this blue comet really was somewhere. I didn't know about it, but it was in the news. And I was informed of it in my letter. I think it was a way to show me that it was not just my imagination, the way to tell me it is true. Simply take it and be the go-between. Absorb it, be the channeler. There were two letters from a boy, the letters from my unborn children. I've had two such chances in my life. That boy introduced himself as Yaroslav, and a girl, according to his words, called Olga. She didn't write herself, she probably didn't have permission to be in contact, but Yaroslav did. What to say about those letters? Perhaps it was an opportunity to talk to myself, to forgive myself, to be ready to look deeper inside myself and to open new verges of my soul, and to feel a vast gratitude for those letters, because it's a universal way for a mother to stay in touch with the children she could have had in flesh and blood, to stay connected to their souls. And then one day, one pure soul got in touch with me. Those letters were from a former archpriest, as he introduced himself, Archpriest Mikhail in his early life, and now a free spirit. All his letters were filled with light, prayers, love. You could hardly doubt this light, though they say that an evil spirit can feign. But the information he was giving me was so deep, kind and beautiful that you could hardly have any doubts. I had a chance to ask questions, get answers. I could ask about some people, not as straight as what will happen with a person. It was not an act of fortune-telling. I was only asking, what can you say about my mom, or my brother, or some of my friends? I did it in my mind, of course. And he gave me a very profound, associative picture of the person. He didn't say what was going to happen to this person soon, or if the person was good or bad. He made such interesting descriptions or gave recommendations which way one should follow, and it all resonated in my soul and made me trust him. Before I started communicating with this spirit, I even didn't know the word archpriest. When I came across this word in any text, I thought, what is it? Later, I got to know that it was a church rank. It was so good to talk to him. It didn't last long. Later it happened occasionally. In total for about 2 years. There were long breaks, then the contact resumed.
По-моему, это было года 2, не больше. 96, да, потому что потом были...
Mikhail came back and explained why he hadn't been in contact. He told me that my doubts were a hinder, and I lost the right way. As he said, your door was tightly closed. I was knocking in vain. Actually, I didn't dare to tell other people what was going on to me. I wasn't sure what for.
Такие были моменты.
Only some spiritually close people knew, but people close by blood couldn't take it. They decided at once I was mentally ill and in urgent need of medical treatment. But I was lucky to be able to stand up for myself. I didn't agree to this treatment and I didn't need any, because such things can happen to anyone, one way or another, and no one should be scared. Such things just exist. I had a dilemma then. I had to make a choice, to stay with my family or to follow the spiritual path.
У меня открылась энергия рук, и было дано знание, что я могу лечить.
At a particular moment of writing down those letters, I felt a special energy in my hands, and I was given a knowledge that I can heal by hands. It was shown that way. As soon as any person entered my flat, I knew at once what kind of pain he might be suffering from and where I should place my hands to heal the pain or disease, and do it urgently, because my hands were literally burning. They had to heal, to help. So at a particular moment I had to make a choice, to stay with the family, with my kids, or to become a healer. It was a question of energy. I had to spend it either on my family or on healing. A sacrifice? Yes, yes. But I've chosen my family, my children, and I immediately lost the gift of healing. That's it. Spiritually, these letters have been supporting lots of people. Everybody who have read them felt an inflow of good energy, strength, will for life. Especially at the moments when everything was going wrong. And as you take this notebook, read the letters, you start to feel as if light is flowing through you. I don't know if I have managed to save someone's life, but spiritually these letters helped a person to return to one's normal state. Recently, I've had that strange feeling. Perhaps I will start getting letters again. But I think if it happens, it will be a bit different, more global, something coherent, like a new knowledge perhaps, something important that I can take and then give away. Still don't know whether I want it or not, but I'm ready now, as much as it will be given.
Насколько это будет дано.